Chapter 14. Mohsen lived a real life. He ate, drank, and slept in al-Hakim, and he had not looked at his closed book since that night, and on their covers he saw nothing but a few of the ladies' brooches, and a powder box from which the coppery russet powder had been scattered, in the color of the marble bodies that were kissed by the sun on the seashore, that color beloved by Parisian women at that time. Yes, it is no longer pure white, the color of the clouds is ideal. It is a hot red color, the color of burnt clay. Mohsen and Susie met at the restaurant table early this evening. Tonight is the first party for the new novel, and the famous actor devoid has come to perform. The boy, Bassem al-Thagger, with an open chest, was devouring a plate of beefcake with apparent enthusiasm, and the girl looked at him a little and smiled, saying, "I see that you have an appetite for food today. The steak is delicious, but I am happy for another reason." "What is it?" "I am invited to the first concert in the second theater in Paris. It's the first time this has happened to me, and this is thanks to you. I'm proud of you." "This is nothing to be proud of." "No. You are. Do not say anything. Eat without speaking, my big parrot." "Yes. Your big parrot. How I envy that little other. He is in his cage, above your window, freer than I am in your hands. I told you not to speak until you finish your plate. I know that nothing always dulls your appetite like talking at the table. You listen, I speak." "Yes, you speak." Mohsen was busy eating his food, and Susie wanted to open her mouth to speak, but the door opened, and two distinguished sheikhs appeared who smiled at the girl in greeting from their heads, and they sat at one of the tables, and the store manager and his servants rushed to them, and the girl saw a question mark on the boy's face, so she quickly said to him in a whisper, "Do you know who this short sheikh is?" "Who is he?" "Monsieur de Verudi himself." Mohsen raised his head, looking at him in astonishment and admiration. Then he said in a whisper, "This is de Verudi. He is an example of gentleness and good manners. Who is this huge sheikh with him? Wow, haven't you seen him before? This is Monsieur Sylvain. Sylvain the Great." Susie looked at Mohsen's plate, then immediately said in a commanding tone, "Now, talking is forbidden, my dear parrot." "Yes. You speak." The boy went back to eating, and Susie spoke. "Do you know that Monsieur Sylvain's wife is good at cooking bouillabaisse? And that Monsieur Riot, the Minister of Education, who is a close friend of the actor, Sylvain, only continues to eat bouillabaisse made by old Madame Sylvain. Listen to this, last month." And it did not happen. The door opened, and a beautiful-looking French young man appeared. As soon as he laid eyes on Susie, next to Mohsen, his face changed, and the girl had hardly seen her in this state before her face changed, and everything in her turned upside down. At that moment, Mohsen felt that a calamity had befallen him, and he did not yet know what it was. That young man sat next to a nearby brother with his face facing the girl, but he lowered his gaze and made it as if he was not looking at her, and kept his eyes on the menu. Susie also knocked. She had finished eating, so she did not know what to do. Mohsen was worried and asked her, "What is wrong with you?" She did not answer him, nor did she turn to him. She gestured to the boy from the restaurant, so he approached her and said to him, "Illustration, magazine, please." The servant hurried and brought her the illustrated newspaper that she had requested, so she took it and spread it in her hands, and began to contemplate her pictures in silence, as if she was not concerned about the presence of Mohsen next to her. The boy sensed this from her, so the blood boiled in his head, and he said to her in a whispered voice dripping with bitterness, "Is this your friend, Henry?" She did not answer, so he went on to say, "Why are you silent now about talking to me?" She did not answer, so he said, "I want to know the meaning of your sudden interest in this magazine and these pictures now." You did not answer, so he said, "Do you want to explain to him simply that I am a person who does not care about you, and that you are having dinner with me without desire or pleasure?" She did not answer, so the impatient person said, "And after? Don't you say a word? Then it's over, and I'm no longer your dear parrot? And you no longer care about my appetite for food or drink, or my interest in meeting me, and you talk to me as you used to do now?" She did not answer, did not raise her head, and continued to flip through the pictures. Then he said in suppressed, sarcastic anger, trust that your boyfriend is now completely convinced that you would rather kill time by reading the magazine than talking to someone like me. Yes, he now understands that I am worth nothing in your eyes. She did not say anything, so he said, perhaps you want him to understand more than that. He sees that I am nothing more than an infatuated admirer of those foreign fools who spend money on prostitutes and happily accept their shunning, neglect and contempt. She did not answer or move, so he said, you are putting me through such humiliation that I cannot bear it. Yes, I should tell you, what you are doing to me now is a lot. What concerns me in the matter is not this enormous love which suddenly appeared at your magic hour, and turned you into a wax statue. You are free in the affairs of your emotions, and I am not driven to say this by pain or jealousy. The fact is that my situation now does not call for joy and comfort, but I am also free. In the affairs of my emotions. What I ask of you at this time is that you think a little about my situation, that you at least save appearances, that you treat me with some righteousness and generosity, and that you do not make me humiliate in front of your lover or boyfriend, unless you mean it. This was the way by which you would rise in his sight and attain his care and attention. And after? Aren't you saying something? Do you insist on this humiliating silence? So, I can now, with deep regret, do nothing but. He suddenly gestured to the servant and quickly paid him the entire value of the account, then he got up and said, goodbye. He left in a hurry without looking at her, and left the restaurant like Adam leaving paradise.